Okay, so this is probably where I'm going to cut the VOD to isolate the VOD of this match. I will go ahead and start. So we are seeing a 2v2. This is a bottom lane 2v2 tournament hosted by SummonerSchool, hosted specifically by members of the SummonerSchool community, specifically Rheingold River. Let's set this up. This is an instructional tournament where I will seek to sorry, I forgot to put a password, so it complicates things. But anyway, this is a 2v2 bot lane tournament, instructional tournament. Anyway, we are seeing a round 2 match between 80 Bottom and Ocelith and Teridium and Love Sores. This should be an exciting game. I'm excited. This is the first match I actually get to cast, which is just so exciting for me. See a Sona ban. So we saw a Taric ban coming up from Teridium and Love Sores. Probably a good idea, as in the first round, 80 Bottom Ocelith absolutely dominated with the Taric Graves combination. We see a Sona ban coming from 80 Bottom and Ocelith. That is the support that Teridium played in their scrim. This guy loves my voice. I like it. Anyway, so we will get to see the first pick coming out from Teridium and Love Sores. And then after this, Team 1 will choose both of their picks, and then the last pick coming out from Teridium and Love Sores. Anyway, my stream... I'm sorry. Anyway, Teridium apparently has a stream if you want to watch from a first-person perspective. Anyway, allow me to introduce myself. If you do not know who I am, my name is Rakalakalili. I was a Platinum solo queue player in Season 2. I main support in AD carry. I was also Platinum in Ranked 5s. I've ran a competitive team in various states of competitiveness for the last 2 years. Last season we were 1 game away from Diamond before we hit a losing streak. We also won Go for LOL, I think it was number 77 or so. We got 2nd place and 3rd place and a couple other Go for LOLs around that time. I played support for my team during this period. We beat some good teams such as Dirtnap Gaming when Atlanta was on it. We also beat Infamous Gaming, which is VMan7's team. So we beat some decent teams along the way. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about the game. Then I had to step down to refocus on school because we got really competitive. We almost got sponsored and stuff. So anyway, that's my LoL background. You know, I have a fair amount of background playing this game. I like to think I kind of know what I'm doing, kind of know what I'm talking about. So during this cast, I will do both a play-by-play and try to provide a lot of insight, tips, and advice to all players involved. So hopefully this is a learning experience for everyone involved, both the people watching and the people playing. Let me go ahead and blink. Let me go ahead and set my link in the main stream chat. So we do see Graves Nunu coming out. We do see Graves Nunu coming out from 80 Bottom and also see 80 Bottom once again liking that Graves. And we see the Lulu. So very interesting combination. Kate Lulu is going to provide a lot of poke against Graves and Nunu. Graves and Nunu will not have any intrinsic sustain. You know, Nunu will have a little bit of sustain from his consume, but they might have a hard time dealing with that poke, as that is a lot of poke. So this will be an interesting matchup. Graves Nunu is not a very common combination. Typically when you pick Graves, you pick a support that can really force an all-in and take advantage of his high upfront burst potential. That is not really Nunu, as you know, he doesn't have any hard CC. He can't really take advantage. So it's kind of an unconventional pick with Graves. We'll see how that works out with them. Like I said, they will be very vulnerable to the extreme amount of poke that Lulu and Kate are going to be able to put out. Caitlyn also has a significant range advantage on Graves. Caitlyn's auto attack range has a range of 650, and Graves has a range, I believe, of 525, as it's just slightly shorter than the standard AD carry range, which is 550. Both Caitlyn and Lulu also have very long-range poke through her abilities. Lulu's able to, her Glitter Lance has a decent range by itself, but if she calls picks and either shields one of her own minions, shields Caitlyn, or uses it to damage an enemy, and then the Glitter Lance shoots away from that enemy that she just casted her help picks command on. So increases the range of her Glitter Lance substantially. Then of course Caitlyn with her Piltover Peacemaker. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Just in favor of the matchups, I would have to give the edge to Teridium and Love Swords, and I underestimated them when they did their scrim, as those are rather low, or unranked rather, with Teridium being a level 28 summoner, compared to in the last matchup, the two players they were playing against had ratings in the high 1400s, and once again that seems to be the same. And so I underestimated that last time, but they played so well in that scrimmage match. They were winning up until the 19th minute of the 20-minute match, in which they got double killed and lost their tower, and that was just enough to lose the game. It's heartbreaking, very close game. But they played very well. I really underestimated them, so I'm excited to see what they can do in this matchup. I think they have the stronger pair. However, Graves Nunu, Graves just has so much burst damage. If they end up getting caught out, they being Teridium and Love Swords, if they make a mistake, get caught out of position, Graves has that burst damage, has that potential with Ignite. Nunu, he's going to be able to chunk them, and then Nunu with that perma-slow coming out from that snowball, it's going to be hard for them to run away. We do see both teams going with the standard Flash Ignite on the AD carries and Flash Exhaust on the supports. So nothing surprising coming out of summoner spells. I suppose we can go ahead and look at rune setups while we're doing this. AD bottom, rocking a very standard AD carry page, flat AD, reds and quints, along with flat armor, yellows, flat Omar, blues. That is the standard AD carry rune page. We see Love Swords rocking, interesting, flat AD, marks, quints, and blues. So opting for the secondary attack damage of blues instead of some magic resist. Probably a good idea in this matchup, as there really isn't a lot of magic damage going to be coming her way, along with flat armor yellow. So very interesting. That is probably going to work out just fine. We see Teridium. Teridium leveled up, is level 29 now. Is rocking, looks like, armor yellows. Does not have access to 3 quint runes, which is so sad, but does have gold per 10 second quints on the 2 slots. Is rocking 2 tier 2 magic pens, the rest magic pens, so her Glitter Lance poke and help picks poke is going to be huge with this magic penetration, along with scaling MR blues. So fairly standard magic pen support page. That's a pretty common page to run on Lulu to really take advantage of that ranged poking. We have Oscillus support page, gold per 10 quints, yellow armors, armor reds, and magic resist blue. So another standard support page where instead of taking the magic pen reds, you just go with more armor to be tankier. So nothing really surprising. That's going to be a tanky Nunu. And I'm really excited to see how this match goes. We'll also have to always you got to take into account the skin advantage whenever you're deciding, who you're going to put money on for this game. So once this game loads, in about 1 second here, okay, like 5 seconds, we're going to see what team has the skin advantage, as you can never, ever forget the skin advantage. That's not normally a white screen. Don't really know what's going on here. Hopefully my client didn't just crash. Oh, there we go. Okay. We see Riot Graves is the only skin in the game. So, AD bottom and Ocelot already having that strong 1-0 skin advantage. I don't know if Teridium and Love Swords can come back from that. That is a pretty big deficit that they're being dropped from right off the bat. I don't envy them coming back from that. But their combined ping on the purple side is less than either player of the blue side's ping. So, obviously, Caitlyn living on the East Coast somewhere. We see both supports starting with their Biscuit, but Lulu starting with the Explorer Ward, where Nunu does not. I did not have a chance to look at their masteries, but we'll see what the item build's starting out. So we see Lulu starting out with the base components, the Philosopher's Stone, a pink ward. So that pink ward is going to be very helpful to counter the ward that they are assuming that Nunu has. It's going to be able to really establish bush control. So if Lulu's able to sit in that brush next to their AD carry, she's going to be able to do a lot of harassing from that bush. Caitlyn doing an interesting start, starting with Cloth Armor and 5 potions. That to me says, hey, we saw how hard he dominated last game, and that was scary. We're scared of that. So I'm going to start Cloth Armor and 5 potions because I'm afraid of dying to you. Caitlyn has the advantage in this matchup. She should not be forced to build defensively to win this matchup. That, if anything, Graves should be the one who is forced to build Cloth Armor and 5 potions to deal with the poke coming out. So it's a little interesting to see Lovesaurus going with that very cautious, very defensive build. She certainly doesn't have to. Certainly doesn't have to in this matchup, but she's going to feel a little safer. She's going to rely on just farming up and avoiding death at all costs. So there's nothing wrong with that. We'll see. We'll see exactly what happens here. Ooh, so we see Teridium and Lovesaurus being very aggressive, sneaking into this lane brush. Nice, polite, all chat banter coming out here. This is a very intense waiting at the moment, as Graves and Lulu are afraid of this bush. They are afraid to step up. Looks like maybe they just want to farm up, maybe for level 2. We'll see. Once again, Graves and Nunu is kind of an odd matchup. Oh, they're going to face check right into the bush containing both of them. Graves' buckshot returning some damage. Takes a Glitter Lance and 2 autos in the face. Pretty decent trade. Pretty even on both sides. That was pretty much dead even trade across the board. The laning commences. Once again, Caitlyn has a significant range advantage on Graves. Graves hitting Caitlyn with 1 shot of his buckshot. Caitlyn not taking advantage of that range. Could have gotten some free damage on Graves and multiple times there, but Lulu getting a good Glitter Lance poke coming out. One thing that you can often do with Lulu is just straight up trade with the AD carries. Your passive, the fact that Pix shoots lasers with you, does help you do a pretty decent amount of damage on your auto attacks, and you are able to trade. So Graves already using one of his 2 potions in the lane. This is really how Teridium and Lovesaurus are going to win the lane. They want to poke down, force Graves to use those potions, because once Graves has those potions, he has no sustain. Graves getting a lot of free unreturned damage. The snowball coming up. Caitlyn's in trouble. He has to flash away. Graves flash ignite. The potion is running. Caitlyn's going back in. First blood. That was an example of Graves just playing very aggressive, and Teridium and Lovesaurus, they just didn't know how to handle that aggression. In that situation, they could have just fought Graves. They could have used their abilities, used the exhaust, used the ignite, and fought him when he goes in that hard, and they would have been a-okay. But because they were just panicked and they just ran away, Graves was just able to do so much free damage to them while they ran away. Oh, Teridium flashing, very afraid right there. And that is a situation of just being very, very afraid and kind of panicking. She was totally fine. Lulu was deep in her tower, and not only that, but Graves used his buckshot, did not have ignite, did not have flash, had no way of following up on that. So that flash was pretty unnecessary. He was just very afraid. But we already see AD bottom and Oslith taking a commanding lead in this game. We see AD carry picking up his Vamp Scepter and 4 potions. So Lovesaurus and Teridium are in trouble now. So the whole advantage of this lane is through poke and taking advantage of the fact that they don't have sustain. They really needed to win this lane early. Really take advantage of Graves only starting with 2 health potions, and the fact that they ended up getting killed, that's going to put them really far behind. They're going to be in a really, really tough position. Caitlyn having the red elixir. Once again, we saw this in the scrim we played, and that's pretty risky. They know that Lulu just recalled, so Caitlyn is probably going to get zoned out of any CS right here. They can play very aggressively, know that it's 1v2. They are going to have to be a little careful, as Caitlyn does still have her ignite. Caitlyn taking a free snowball. So one thing you never want to give an opponent free damage. That's the fastest way to lose any lane. So Caitlyn should have just auto attacked Nunu probably twice there and been just fine. But giving your opponent free damage is the fastest way to lose any lane. Caitlyn can also really take advantage of the fact that she has longer range of Graves, so when Graves gets aggressive like that, she should always get a free auto attack on him when he turns away. Because he turns away. Right there, Caitlyn's got to hit that Nunu back. Caitlyn has to return damage. That free snowball damage, that adds up. That honestly, just that will lose you the lane eventually if you just keep taking free damage. So we see Caitlyn being very, very timid here, not taking advantage of her range, not attacking and being aggressive and really in command of this lane as she should be. One thing about starting with cloth armor and 5 potions is that's a sustain build. That says, I'm going to out-sustain you, I'm going to slowly bully you. Once again, we see Graves just jumping in there, getting a lot of damage output, and taking no damage in return. One thing to also note is that when Graves goes in and is chunking Caitlyn and attacking Caitlyn, really focusing on Caitlyn, when you're in that position as support, you can just start hitting the AD carry because they're so focused on your AD carry, you're not going to take any damage by doing that. So you can help trade some damage, even out that trade, if you counter their aggression and you just make sure to hit them. Caitlyn getting really close to that minion to last hit it, not staying at her maximum range. This is not good for Teridium and Love Swords. This is a very scary match. It's really hard to lane against the Graves and gets advantage. There's a lot of damage coming out. There's the Ignite, and Caitlyn drops down. Uh-oh, exhaust coming out on Lulu. Lulu's flash is not up. Her exhaust is up, and Lulu, once again, no exhaust. So that is 3 deaths from the purple team coming out with no exhaust being used by Lulu, no ignite being used by Caitlyn. So kind of a misplay here by the purple team, not really using their summoners. Just an ignite when you see the enemy goes aggressive can really dissuade their aggressiveness because they do have that ignite on them and they're going to be taking that damage. And another thing, when you're playing support, you have to get that exhaust when you see the enemy go in. When you see that Eves use his quick draw into you, he's committed to that fight. If you exhaust him then, especially before he gets his buckshot off, he uses his burst, he's fully committed to this fight, and he's exhausted, and you can really, really take advantage of that and just really mess him up. So already, this is going to be really, this is devastating for Teridium and Love Swords. This is extremely difficult for them to come back from. Graves is a snowbally AD. If you get behind him, his front-loaded burst can one-shot you, and it's a really, really hard situation to come back from. And their biggest mistake is that they played so passive. Graves just went aggressive, and they just let him, and just ran away and let him hit them for free, instead of just being like, okay, let's do this, and just fighting him. It's always, always, always better to take 100 damage and deal 50 damage to them than to take 50 damage and deal no damage to them. You always want to trade damage. And now they're just behind, Graves and Nunu are level 6. Lulu and Kate are not level 6, so they're going to be able to just be really, really aggressive here and really force them out. We see Nunu and Graves, just look how aggressive they're being. They're playing so far forward. Look, Graves harassing, and there comes the ultimate. Oh, actually missed the ultimate on Lulu. Didn't hit him directly, but they are able to pick up the kill on Caitlyn. GG already coming out from Love Swords. As yeah, this is pretty much over. Yeah, I think I don't see a way for them to come back from this. This is a very rough game. They are able to surrender at the 10-minute mark. However, they are encouraged to play it out, to practice playing from behind. Ooh, Caitlyn getting clipped on that wall there, not gaining the maximum distance off her 90 caliber net. So, Caitlyn in a really hard position. It just has to farm up, has to try to stay out of the burst damage range from the Graves. Just really farm up here. She has 10 more minutes to try to close this gap. She starts last hitting perfectly, and if they start getting a lot of free damage and taking advantage of this significant range advantage they have... Oh! Caitlyn ultimate coming out. Nunu barely getting that, blocking that for him. I don't think that would have killed Graves, but it certainly would have made him return back to base. You do see Caitlyn has her Vampiric Scepter, and the surrender is calling out. Okay. GG's coming out. The game is over.
A summoner has disconnected.
So well played by AD Carry and Aussie something. What is Aussie lot? Is it Aussie? I don't remember the name. Well played by AD Carry and his support partner, whose name I don't recall at the moment. Very well played. Okay. Anyway, that is actually it for me casting. I was only going to help cast up until this point in the rounds. I do have to go and eat dinner. You know, wife aggro is OP. Gotta go de-aggro that mob. So, anyway, if you watched, thank you for watching. It's my first time streaming in quite a while. I will go ahead and pull the highlight of that match out and share the VODs with the people involved. Yeah, that's about it. So